Oh, somebody got the money course. That's nice. Wow, right at the start of the live. That's amazing. Hello, beautiful people. So, we have a success story today, and I'm excited about it. This is going to be a wonderful example of a story for any gentleman that I may have that may pop into this live. This is a gentleman that I worked with for quite a period of time, 2 rounds of king and queen, and he is now off living his best life. He's going to come on just here in a couple moments, and I'm going to give him a call. But this is going to be a really inspiring success story, I feel, for a lot of people about the ebbs and flows of what we later on decide that we want. Because similar to our last success story, if anybody had seen that one, she had made a lot of different fluctuations of changes. She came into my world wanting an SP, then she decided she wanted different love, then she decided she wanted the SP. This is going to be a wonderful interview for you guys to show you the power of persistence, changing minds, ebbs and flows of the manifestation process. We're going to have a really good time. So please do like up the live so we can get it out there to as many people as possible, and post your questions down below for our gentleman who's going to be interviewed, because I feel like you guys are going to get a lot out of this. He's really fun. He's going to be a hoot, and I'm just really excited about it. And hopefully it motivates you guys as well, that there really isn't a right or wrong way to go about this. It's all about honoring what it is that you want. So I'm going to give him a quick message and let him come in. And we are going to have fun. Hello, my love. How are you?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Good, how are you? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you guys hear him? Let me know in the comments down below. Oh my God, I'm hearing your voice after so much time. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
It's been a while.
It has been a hot minute. I am so excited though to hear from you. I don't know. I'm feeling like you mentioned a little bit of this before. There's been some updates, I think, since we last spoke also.
Yeah. Pretty much just a change in my mentality. I mean, that was the whole reason why I came to you in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get my SP back, and you were the one who told me to stop contact with her, and that was probably the hardest thing to do.
True.
And it was just funny how quick the results were just from one phone call with you.
So I'm going to give you guys... Sorry, go ahead. You want to... Go ahead, you finish. I want to introduce you first because I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
So this is one of my clients. I'm going to keep him anonymous unless he wants to announce his own first name and first name only. He is one of the gentlemen that actually started when my King and Queen package originally came out, which was a while ago. We've been together for more than 2 months, I think, total.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And he wanted to come into my world to manifest a specific person, which as a majority of individuals do. And right off the bat, in the beginning of our program, I think it was within the first week or 2 weeks, we already got movement of his SP kind of showing up to his house and or messaging or leaving very peculiar Instagram quotes from her being in her feelings about, my guy over here doing so well with himself. So I'm going to kind of let him take the floor and let him talk about kind of where he was in the beginning of this process, how, with each call and each spiral and each ebbs and flows of this manifestation journey, that we kept repivoting to get him in track with where he wanted to go. And we're going to let the conversation build from there. So are you ready to talk?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so then I'm going to be quiet then.
So yeah, so I came across the manifesting thing. It was probably maybe 2 weeks before I found your page, and it was just like here and there kind of things. And then I just vibed with your message and your equation and everything like that. And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get a phone call with her. We had that phone call. I gave her my situation and how I was trying to get my SP back. But in reality, she kind of wasn't really gone, because when she left, probably it was like May, I think. But that doesn't mean anything. She was coming back like every week, every few days. We were hanging out, stuff like that. We were actually trying to give it a try, but my mentality was just really screwed up. I had past relationship that really messed me up, and that took me 2 years to get over. And then she came into my life, and we had a good relationship. But then things fell when my mental fell, and as we know in this journey, it's really all us. So I came to you, we had that phone call, and then you gave me that. What really helped was that brain flip equation. That was probably the hardest 2 weeks of my life when I got with you. I was battling myself back and forth, but it eventually just kind of stuck, and then we were in no contact because you said it wasn't good for us to Snapchat each other every day like she was sending me streaks every morning, and that then I was just seeing some things that I didn't like. I mean, they weren't like bad things, but
they just weren't good for your mental health. That's all.
Right. And that was really hard to do. I had been contemplating it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But I decided to go with it. And then 2 weeks after I started with you, battling myself every day, having some spirals, but then telling myself that with every spiral, it's going to be less and less, and there's always like a rainbow at the end of the storm kind of thing. So then 2 weeks after that, I'm getting ready to go get an application because I'm doing a different career. And all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I was like, no way, it was her. So I answer it, and she was like, hey, are you home? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, can you open the door for me? And she just randomly showed up at my apartment door, standing right in front of it. So we saw each other, we talked, shared some moments, and she ended up taking me to go get the application, introduced me to her boss, was talking me up, pretty much acting like my girlfriend, and that was what I was telling myself in my mind. And it was crazy how it just worked out like that. And then we went to the store, and my credit card wasn't working for some reason, and she just ended up buying me the things that I needed, and it was...
I remember this part of our conversation, yeah. Sorry, I'm just laughing over here.
No, that was funny. I still remember your voice message you sent me.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I'm remembering it too. Sorry.
But then after that, we had a good interaction, and then there was a low moment. I was riding the wave. I was riding the high of that, and I kind of stopped the affirmations. And then it, naturally, because I stopped doing it, she kind of stopped showing up, and then I restarted it again, and she messaged me on Facebook and was asking me 20 questions, oh, did you get the job? Are you interviewing for the job? This and that. And then I was excited about that, so I rode the wave. And it was just pretty much back and forth. Spirals, because I would be a dumbass and I would check Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was really on and off. But then I ended up interning at the ambulance agency that she ended up working at. And a few days before that, she had stalked my TikTok. And I haven't posted anything on my TikTok in months since then. And I thought that was interesting because we don't follow each other, so she had to literally search my name. So obviously the affirmations were working. And then I just show up at her place. I didn't tell her. We weren't really talking, so I didn't tell her. I just showed up, and then, I go on my first call of the day. I come back, and I'm sitting there talking with one of the other EMTs, and she's sitting right behind me, and we joked around about each other. We had a good interaction. It was kind of crazy, and that happened for 3 weeks. And then I ended up kind of just getting to a point where maybe I didn't know if I wanted to manifest her anymore. Like, I was just so good with myself. My self-concept was so on point that it just kind of felt like I didn't need to. Like, I was just living life. I still care about her and everything like that, and she still cares about me, but at this point, it's just, we live our own lives, and sometimes I know we all start this journey to kind of get someone back, but sometimes through the journey we fall in love more with ourselves, and sometimes we don't want that person back as much as we thought. And if it wasn't for you, I don't know where the hell I'd be, to be honest. And
yeah, one of the things that RJ mentioned in the very, very beginning of us working together on our first call was like, I left my therapist for you, Persis, which I thought was like the highest compliment I could ever receive. Like, I think I remember that conversation so fondly. And this is a wonderful example of how sometimes your own priorities shift. Now, does that mean that if he decides to change his mind again and want that particular person, that, he can't have her or he can't manifest her? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But it means like the self-concept and the affirmations and the thing that I cultivated for him when we did our coaching, he did so well with that. And I would love for you to even touch upon like your attention from other women and other exes coming back out of the woodwork, or people reaching out to you, people buying you things. People bought him drinks at a bar, and he sent me the voice memo, and I literally just lost my mind. It was just like so great.
So I work at a very public place. I work at a casino, so like anytime I'm feeling low about myself, maybe, so I can just walk out of my office and get the validation that I want. Looks, smiles, casual conversation. And it's crazy because even though I hadn't even thought of my ex in a long time, and we hadn't talked in a while, she wished me a happy birthday the day after my birthday, and she hadn't said that in probably 4 years or so. And she just kind of showed up back into my life. Actually, a few days before she came to my apartment, I went out to a hot spot with a few of my friends, and I was out on the patio, drinking, and I see this girl there who looked very familiar. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I'm going to go say something to her. So before that happened, they were closing the bar up, so she ended up walking my way. And it was an old friend of mine from high school that, kind of had a little fling with. And that was like, I was so like confused. I was like, oh, what is this? Birds before land kind of thing, or, whatever. But it was just because my concept was on point.
Yeah.
And now I go out to bars and I just get free drinks. Not all the time. Obviously, still got to pay for a few. But a lot of the time it's, hey, do you want another one? I mean, it's on us. I was like, all right, sure, why not? So that's kind of been a common occurrence. I'm just out here kind of living life right now, and if I do decide to manifest her back, like, I truly believe that I will have the solid foundation to do it. Or if I want to manifest someone else.
Yeah.
I've been manifesting a new job lately too, and that's been awesome. That's in the works, and it's crazy because I wasn't even manifesting her at the time. I was kind of just doing my own thing. And I walked to work to my car one day, and she takes the road to her job that crosses my apartment. So I'm walking, and I could see her. Pretty sure she was driving her mom's car because I could tell by her big-ass sunglasses she wears. She looked over while I was walking towards the car. Obviously, didn't say anything. I didn't message her or anything, just letting it be. Then, like a few days after that, I pull into a gas station. I see an ambulance pull up. And I was like, oh, that girl looks familiar. there's only a few girls that actually work there. And then they didn't have what I wanted at the store, so I walk out, and her and I made eye contact, and I know it was her. It's just, I wasn't even actively manifesting her, but it's just the fact that it must be subconsciously embedded that it can just literally happen even if I'm not trying. So it's like, It's really all dependent on you and the self-concept at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and that's a great point. And if you guys have any questions for him, please do leave it down in the comment section. I think more than anything, a lot of people are just stunned based on the comments that, I have over here. At the end of the day, I think what you ended up manifesting, you manifested an SP, but the SP is you. And I think it's like the cutest thing in the entire world, because you guys don't understand the types of calls that him and I would have. First of all, it's almost like every single call, we needed to record all of them. There were so many amazing points and notes. There would be times during our phone calls, especially in the formative stage of our first round of King and Queen, this man was not the same person. Like, I know he sounds wonderful and radiant and confident and self-assured. That is not the version of him that I had on day one. He would have instances where he would spiral tremendously, where something from the 3D would trigger him. He'd have deep doubts and worries and concerns that, can this really work for me? Can this really work for my situation? Problems with trusting in the unseen. And I think this is such a wonderful depiction of how someone could progress so much relatively still within a short period of time, and now be like, you know what, I actually am just really good on my own. I actually just feel really good about myself. I'm enjoying life. I'm living life. If I want her, that's great. If I want to manifest someone new, I have the power of knowledge. I have all of our text messages and our voice memos that we've exchanged with each other. And I could literally go back to them at any given point in time and rinse and repeat it. Like, it's funny because somebody is commenting, he embodied a new state, and that's awesome. Like, you literally did. You embodied your 2.0 version of yourself.
Yeah. It feels great. And even the people I work with on a daily basis are like, you're not the same person you were a few months ago when I started with you. Like, because they seen me when I was at my worst.
Yeah.
I would cry. I'll be honest. I'll be an honest dude. I probably haven't cried more than I ever have before after she left, because I was the one at fault at the beginning, and it was because of my mindset. I had lost my way, and it just kind of drove her away. And it's natural. It happens, but it takes a strong person as well, and we're all strong people in this community, to sit down and actually do the work.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and write to yourself sometimes and be really fucking honest with yourself. And it's
hard.
It's hard. It is. You get to know yourself, though, and I think that's the beauty of it at the end.
Yeah, he wanted to, because there's some people that might be a little confused that came in a little late. The question is he with his SP now, or did he end up not wanting her? So he came into my world wanting the SP, manifesting the SP. When he was doing his routine for the SP was moving pretty relatively in time with that. There would be instances where we'd go hot and cold, because when she came in, he all of a sudden attached a lot of meaning to what she was or wasn't doing, and that would cause her to fade away a little bit. Then he had to kind of recenter himself, and then she would come back. And we needed to practice that a lot, because I think that's something that a lot of people suffer from in general, is once the movement comes in, how do you not get super judgmental with yourself and with the entire process, and then start putting extra meaning on things? Because then that's what causes the hot and cold. But he ended up going back into the self-concept work, really pouring into himself and deciding that he does not actually want to end up manifesting her for the time being. He's really enjoying his new self-concept, the new life that he has right now, the happiness and fulfillment that he's feeling, the ability to go out and be treated, like the king that he is also. Girls are buying him drinks. People are reaching out to him after 4 years and sending him birthday text messages, which we are almost birthday twins. Almost.
Almost.
We were so close.
Few days.
A
year and a few days, I think.
Yeah. But, he's just loving his life right now, and he's just living it to the fullest. And the reason I wanted to bring this on is, although it's not like a traditional success story that he thought it wasn't a traditional success story, I think it's such a huge success because I feel like this is ultimately what we all strive for. To feel so happy and self-assured within ourselves that the existence of another person is not what we put the entire weight of everything on. Because at the end of the day, think of it, your person isn't supposed to be the only source of your happiness. You're supposed to be able to contribute to your relationship as well and come into the relationship as the best version of yourself. And whether he decides to go back and remanifest that woman or allow somebody else, any other option that he has around, or somebody new to come into his life, he has all the tools to take him from that point A to point B.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
it's a tough journey, but we're all in it, and
true.
It doesn't stop. We manifest 24/7, so it's one of those, are you going to let outside circumstances control your life, or are you going to take control of your life? And I'm not letting the outside circumstances control my life anymore. I've done that for way too long, and it's only literally been, I think we had two months together, and the amount of success that we've had, even with the spirals and everything, which those are natural.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've been on the fence of getting her as a coach, get her as a coach. You'll get some solid stuff. You're going to get what you want as long as you put in the work, because she can only do so much. I loved our phone calls, but it really was, between every week, it was, I have to sit down with myself. I have to do the affirmations. She can't do them for me. I have to look at myself in the mirror, and I have to be the one to love myself, because no one else is going to do it. And through that, other people will love you.
So nicely put. So nicely put. Yeah, I love that last line. Oh my God. You've become a speaker now. I'm so proud of you. Oh my goodness. Literally so true. Like, when you start to love yourself, other people will also see the love you feel for yourself. But some people cannot conceptualize how loving yourself could cause someone else to love you. But remember, everybody is you pushed out. And if you're currently taking refuge of your reality right now, and of course, so many people have been reaching out because, of course, the holidays are coming up. People are starting to feel lonely, or birthdays are coming up, and it's, that time of the season where that little bit of seasonal depression hits, and people are doing, some reflection about their lives and stuff like that. It matters so much for your own mental well-being, irrespective of a person, for you to love you. You've got to live your life. You've got to fill up your cup. You've got to be happy. And at the end of the day, understanding that when you actually fundamentally do that work, you have no choice but to bring people in. You have no choice. The only time that doesn't end up working is maybe if you're doing what I call that peekaboo technique, which everybody seems to like, and where it's like you're affirming I love him, or he loves me, he's obsessed with me, he wants me, and then you look out the window and being like, where is it? Oh, she loves me, she wants me, she's obsessed with me, and then you look out the window and you're like, where is she? Kind of situation. This work is really, really powerful, provided that you do it. I mean, as somebody that's going to roast themselves also, because I'm not going to let my guy over here just be all by himself. When I went through my own, I guess you could say, spiritual journey, oh boy, did I evade that work a lot. It is very hard, even when you work with a coach. And as someone who has had coaching in the past, naturally, and I talk about that very avidly on my page, you are going to start to feel a bit uncomfortable doing the things that are going to help take you to the next level, because your identity is so familiar with, as an example, being not good enough, not worthy, not chosen, not valued, not respected, that it's going to feel so weird to be like, I love myself, I respect myself, I choose me. Your body is going to run away. It's going to be like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel normal. I don't feel normal doing this because this is like so weird. So freaking weird. Did you feel that in the beginning?
Oh, yeah. I battled myself every single day, almost like every 5 minutes. My mind was like, oh, but this happened. So I would have to get that brain flip equation going, and then it was mentally exhausting. Like, I would literally go home from work and be absolutely exhausted from the mental work that you put in.
Yeah.
But it does subside.
It does.
And I did see some comments in there, and some people are like, can you say your affirmations out loud or all that? I did it all. I wrote them in my notes. I would look at them when I couldn't say things out loud. Mm-hmm. I would say them out loud in my car because I would record them, and then I would listen to them on my drive to work or whenever I was going somewhere, or even just throughout the day. And that would keep looping and looping. And also mirror work.
Mirror work is huge.
10, 15 minutes, I would just look at myself and repeat the affirmations. It got to a point where I memorized them all.
Which is funny.
That's when all the movement started to work. That's when I felt I truly believed it.
Which is funny also because my affirmations are a little bit long that I gave him, but they were important, and I felt like they were the ones that were going to help him the most. Another question that we have here is, how long did it take him to get to this point? I think I missed that. The 2 months, probably even a month and a half, because I feel like the other half of our second package, you were just like cool as a cucumber. You were like Snoop Dogg. You were just relaxed, bro.
Yeah, and it was funny because when her and I were in the car, when she came to my apartment and taking me to the places, she would say some things that they weren't necessarily triggering, but she would mention like someone that was like a friend of ours or something like that I didn't really like anymore. Didn't care. Honestly, I was ice, I guess you could say.
Trae Young.
Ice in the veins.
Like, I didn't react to it, and she sensed it. I could just tell through her eyes how attracted she was. Like, she might not have said it, but her eyes don't lie.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm like so ready to like chime in for a quick second because listen. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the thing that he just mentioned that's so important right now is when I was presented essentially with the old story, old situation of her trying to make a triggering comment while we're in the car together, I didn't react to it. And regardless of what was shown to me in my 3D, I was like, I don't care. And that's the sign of a whole and healed self-concept. It's not perfection. When I talk about my scale of 1 to 10, 1 being ground zero and 10 being I've healed the parts of me that were formerly hurting and now they don't hurt me anymore. That's what it is, because the test of you actually healing your self-concept is you being presented the same situation and reacting from your new self-concept. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't let it send him into a spiral. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and like, I did have spirals after that moment. Like I said, I was riding the wave, and I thought we were gonna, I think after that I had asked her to hang out, and she said yes to hanging out, and then completely ghosted me and bailed on me, and that was a big trigger. And I spiraled from that, but the spirals lasted less and less and less every single time, though. So, like, the spirals are going to happen. Don't judge yourself on the spirals. Look at it as, all right, might be the worst it could ever get. But like I said in the beginning, there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm.
Yeah.
And there's always the storms don't last forever. The sun always comes out in the end. Mm-hmm. And that's what really kept me going was, all right, this happened. This sucked. Spiraled for a few. Then it became like hours that I would spiral. And then I would be right back on track. I'd get motivated right after that, let out the emotions, and then I would just carry on. And like it's a journey. It's never going to stop.
Yeah.
And we just keep going. We're human beings. Sometimes I forget that I'm a human being.
Yeah, you do. You have very high standards.
I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
I do.
And in that process, it's so funny because obviously it's so beautifully said, but it matters so much, like your own mental health through this process. You're already doing so much. You don't need to judge yourself also. The only way to know if you're doing something right, whether that be with a coach or independently, is are you day by day, week by week, month by month, becoming more confident in your new story? And is that needle inching its way up the scale? Or are you staying stagnant? Or are you not really moving for prolonged periods of time? Because at the end of the day, if the law of assumption was to be boiled down into a single sentence, it's you change your assumptions about yourself, you change your assumptions about the object of your desire, and when both assumed favorably, you have that desire. So where can we, focus on that? And on the days that don't feel so good, on the days that feel sticky, or if something is hurting really bad, just giving yourself a little grace and being like, listen, I'm doing really hard things. Let's not all sit here and pretend and be macho and think that like being chosen or being worthy or being good enough are like small triggers. That is literally some of the hardest emotional things to work through, especially when you have terrible memories and women in the past that have hurt you and done you dirty when you were a good guy. Like, that's hard. That's hard to just start to love yourself. That's hard to start to choose yourself. That's hard to start to put yourself first.
Absolutely.
Tell me, do you have any more last pieces of advice for the people?
I don't know. Does anyone else have any more questions?
I don't see any more questions, but I do see a very sweet comment, which is he's now not going to place all his happiness on one person, which is the definition of a true self-concept. And I agree like 10 million %.
It's true.
It's so true.
And we can all get there. If you've ever having doubts, like, you got this.
Listen, I am so excited.
Thanks for having me on. It was awesome.
Listen, I love you to pieces.
If there's anything else.
Listen, and that's okay. Like, at the end of the day, I think we've covered a lot of good things, and it's a big motivation to everybody that your first SP is you. And then afterwards, any other SP you want to add to the equation, that's perfectly fine. But understanding that you taking care of your side of the fence will automatically align your assumptions to actually be much more capable and feasible of changing that someone else would want you to. But it's very, very difficult to think that I'm a piece of garbage and nobody wants me and nobody values me and I'm unworthy and nobody appreciates me, and then be like, where is the love of my life? Like, that's just not how things work. But I love this. I will definitely repurpose this on live. I don't know if you want to come in the chat and chill with us. I'll probably be on for like another couple of minutes. And then I will let you go have a good rest of your evening, and I'm excited to talk to you soon.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean, if you ever want to have me on again,
I will.
We can talk about things in the future. Like I said, I guess a lot of things in motion now, and it's all thanks to you.
Listen, I appreciate it, and I would absolutely love to have you on again. You keep me posted as usual, because we do have another phone call and stuff like that in our future. So you keeping me updated, and we will keep the people updated.
Absolutely.
All
You're
right.
amazing. You're doing God's work.
Doing God's work. Exactly. Thank you. I love this. Okay. I will let you go, and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm doing God's work. You're also doing God's work. My dad is over here making fun of me. I am doing God's work.
So what am I doing?
You're not doing God's work. That's for sure. So there was a quick question that I wanted to address, and if anybody has any others, I'd love to take them for like maybe another 10 minutes, because I'm having a little bit of a headache. Did you want to say anything?
Huh?
Did you want to say anything?
To my peeps?
To your people. Okay, so sorry. There was a question regarding the limitations of a specific person as it pertained to a previous video. Why do you think people should not manifest an old SP and that manifesting has limits per your new video? So I'm not sure if you actually fully watched the video or understood it fully. Me and my father made a video regarding whether people are team new person or team old person, like specific person, basically. And I mentioned that the law has limits in that video. And what I clearly clarified in that video is this: the only limit to anyone's manifestation is your own ability to transform your inner assumptions about your self-concept, and the limitation is about changing your concept of your person mentally. So what do I mean by that? There are some individuals that are completely incapable and not willing to let go of the past, but they want a future version of the SP. That is where I have seen clients, unfortunately, literally bleed themselves dry, trying to change their self-conception, trying to change the conception of another person, and be unsuccessful because they're not willing to let go of the past. They're not capable of letting go of the past. Maybe some of their personal or religious values are compromised in the process of letting go of the past, and they have a limitation within themselves that I can't let go of the past. And in that essence, I mentioned in that video, as well as my father, that if you're going to have that limitation within you, the law is not going to rearrange itself to accommodate for that. Because a big part of us actually being successful is being capable of doing that. So in that sense, the version of the law that's operating in your reality has a limit. I'll give you another example. I worked with a gentleman that was in the Middle East, and he had a specific person he wanted to manifest. He had a cultural and religious background of there's no form of infidelity whatsoever. If the woman goes outside of the relationship, I don't care if I manifested it. I have a limitation within me that if the woman goes outside of the relationship, I don't care if I caused it. I don't care about everyone as you pushed out. I can't handle it. And I'm going to end up wasting my precious time, energy, and effort trying to get over something that I know is a deal breaker for me, even if I created it. That is an example of a limitation within the law. That is an example of a limitation because you've decided, even if this person, goes outside of the relationship, I can't see them a different way. I can't change my conception of them. And that is what I meant in that video, is that some people, and this is something that I don't wish upon anybody, some people are bleeding themselves dry for an SP. And at the same time, not only are they deteriorating their mental health, they're deteriorating their physical health, they're deteriorating their spiritual health, because they don't realize that there are certain things you need to do to be able to manifest an SP. And those things are contingent on changing your self-conception, like the brain flip equation that, he mentioned, changing the conception about the object of your desire or person of your desire. If I have a perfect self-concept, but my conception of men is, as an example, they're all going to lie and cheat, what's going to happen? I'm going to get men in my reality that lie and cheat. If I have a perfect self-conception, but I think that my person doesn't want me, and I can't let go of the fact that they don't want me, they're not going to want me. They're not. The law isn't going to rearrange itself to put together my manifestation. It's not. I have to be capable and open-minded and willing to, and, just open to the fact that this type of work has to be fulfilled in some way or another, or I may just be wasting my time. So hopefully that clarifies things. Yep, if it's an old SP, you have to fully let go of the old story. Absolutely. Plus doing so is so healing. So true. I have a question and I have an answer. Go for it. Go for it. Also, I just want to say, for some odd reason, so many people, right when I pressed the live button, got my money program that starts tomorrow, which is amazing.
That's nice.
So that was very sweet. I think I got like 3 different people. I
Good for
am.
you.
Do you have any tips on how to convince yourself with a new narrative? Thing 1 and thing 2, you're up.
Is that how you address us?
Thing 1 and thing 2, I thought that was very polite.
That was very rude.
I think that was okay. All right, do you have any tips on how to convince yourself of a new narrative, new story? How to let go of the past? Come on, Twinkle Toes. Tell the story like you're not a guilt. All right, I'll chime in. They're being shy. They're being shy. That's okay. It's so funny because when I turn off this live, they're going to chew my ear off. But right now, they're a little shy. The best ways to go about a new narrative is...
Brain correction exercise.
Brain correction exercise is a great tool. But to convince yourself of a new narrative is, I would honestly take pen to paper and I would give you a journaling prompt and I would say, go ahead.
List out all your limited beliefs on one side and what you want your new story to be on the other side.
Right. And outside of that, I would give you a journaling prompt that is one negative situation in your life and one positive situation in your life. And what I would have you do is, when you have that one positive situation and one negative situation, I want you to reverse engineer and undo the big ball of yarn for each one and reverse engineer it. And the best way to convince yourself of a new narrative, and this is something I have people do in my group programs, is when you see how you created a negative situation or a positive situation, what you'll find in this journaling exercise is your creation of good or bad came down to a singular thought, assumption, or scenario you played in your head on loop.
I was going to say that.
Good.
Because I've heard you say it before.
Yeah, I feel like I've said it an umpteen amount of times. And this is a wonderful teaching point, is if you have the capacity to show yourself with pen to paper, very important, how I created this positive event or how I created this negative event, you're far more likely to convince yourself of a new narrative because you're realizing the good or the bad is coming from me either way. So why don't I try to internalize the new narrative and actually get the result that I want? Brain flip and consistency. Oh, that's so good. What is the best way to let go and detach from the outcome? Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Would you like me to go first or do you want to go first?
Detaching from?
Oh, so sorry. Oopsies. What is the best way to let go and detach from the outcome? Like detaching from the final result.
So like in a sense, like letting go of the old story and creating that new story?
I think more so they're talking about, how do I have faith in this entire process and not put so much pressure on like manifesting my desire?
You have to like trust the process and you have to do the work and then you'll get your result.
The thing is, with some individuals, it's so hard, and I completely understand your question, Aya.
Look at your guy, you know?
Yeah, look at my guy.
Like, he's a prime example. If you do the work,
Yeah,
you're going to get the result.
absolutely.
If you don't do the work, you cannot be like in the corner crying
You can't be in the corner crying.
that you're going to get it done.
Exactly.
How bad do you want it?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
How bad do you want that new story?
That's a good
I
question.
made a good point.
You made an excellent point. 10 points for you.
I'm listening to you when you coach.
That's true.
Because I'm I have to put my worth out there.
That's true. So the best way to let go and detach from the outcome is just to remind yourself of how the law works. You know what I mean?
You're not exempt.
You're not exempt. You're not the fine print to the law of assumption. The law of assumption isn't like this big bold thing and then in the bottom it says, but I don't work for Aya _6703. You know what I mean? I think it's really just like a fear thing if we're having problems of letting go and detaching, and understanding that the law is universal. I've said it so many times and I'll say it a dozen more. The law doesn't discriminate against age, race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status. It's a law. It's a law. It's universal. And that's kind of the thing that I love about science in general is There's no classism, there's no sexism, there's no racism, there's no nothing. It's literally available for us all, should we just choose to see it within ourselves. Thoughts on manifesting friends and connections. Oh, David.
Versus.
I needed this question.
This the floor is you, okay?
Oh my God.
The floor is you.
I am suffering from this right now, David. Jesus, you didn't have to call me out like that, bro.
He must have felt that in you, know?
Thank God. He is me pushed out right now. Thoughts on manifesting friends. I definitely need some more of them, so I'll take this myself and try to apply the teachings myself.
You got this.
God, I hope I do. My advice on manifesting friends is, I think the advice I would give someone if they asked me about manifesting friends is, I'd probably once again go to pen and paper. And because I've had some good friendships in my life and some not good friendships in my life, I'd probably first get really clear on the quality of friends I wanted to speak into my future. They should have certain characteristics. They should have certain morals and integrity. They should have certain levels of consistency or communication.
They shouldn't not reach out to you after 10 years.
Appreciation.
You know?
The different things like this. I would want friends that also, it was a two-way street. And I would first get very clear on the friends, the overall archetype of the things that really matter to you and having a good friend that is.
Are you doing that work?
On friendship right
Yes.
now? Not right now, no, I haven't. I've been having so much on my plate.
I know.
I'm going to try to in this upcoming week. But I would get really clear on that first. And once you've discovered what it is that are your non-negotiables in friendship, I would just start with very basic affirmations like, I always manifest my ideal friends. I'm capable of meeting the ideal, friends. I'm capable of meeting my ideal friend anywhere I go. People are drawn to me. I'm always capable of meeting my ideal friendship circle or my ideal, how would I put that?
That's really tough because we've never done one on friends.
We've never done one on friends, but it works the same. I mean,
we have to think of
maybe just rephrase it a little bit more. Oopsies. So how do we create the ghosting? Great question, Giselle. Do you want to take that?
How do we create ghosting?
Yeah, when we create ghosting, it's essentially us being in a scenario where, let's say as an example, I'm texting a gentleman. Let's pretend my phone works right now. Okay, let's say I'm texting a gentleman. And in that process, I'm texting him, hi. Right now, RJ, if you're still here, I'm texting you. So just for the sake of this situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let's say that I'm waiting on his reply, right?
Okay, this is not a good thing.
Thank you, Mother.
Okay, put your phone down. Why are you waiting for his response?
Because I'm interested.
I don't care. You are going to ignore him till he texts you.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Because I'm an amazing person.
Because you are an amazing person.
Look at Dad's face.
Because I'm testing my knowledge.
No, it's okay. Go for it. I want you.
My knowledge.
I want you to.
You're not going to go on Facebook.
I'm not.
You're not going to follow him on Twitter.
I'm not going to follow.
You're not going on TikTok.
I'm not going on TikTok.
You are banned.
Banned.
Until he calls you.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
That's how things work. So the way that we create...
Bad persist.
Thank you, Mother. The way that we create ghosting is basically we're placing a little bit of judgment on the quality of interactions that we're having presently, and we're in a dominant state, okay? Maybe not all the time, but we're in a dominant state. Dominant meaning 51 and above. For being in a situation where we're more observing what's missing from the text message, what's missing from the interaction, what's maybe I get a message from him, but he doesn't tell me that he wants to ask me out. Maybe I text him, but now I'm worried because he's taking 4 hours to respond.
You need to validate yourself.
That is also true. And in that process, sorry, he messaged back. I used your chat to make a point. I'm sorry.
I wasn't talking to him like particularly.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So sorry. He's going to be confused now. But that's essentially how we...
We're making an example.
We're making an example. We're not picking on our Jack. We're not picking on him. I created ghosting because I felt like I didn't deserve love, and at the time that love always leaves. That's also a good observation. It doesn't always have to come from me judging him. You can also think that you're not worthy of that communication. That is such a good freaking point.
That's a good one.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can you put this on YouTube? It will be on YouTube, I promise. I love what you do. Thank you. Thank you, David. I don't understand everybody is you push out. If I communicate with SP and am understanding why is he not? Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of everybody is you pushed out as it pertains to my brain flip equation, which is my manifestation blueprint for anybody who may be confused. I'm going to give you an example.
You and your ducks?
I would love my ducks.
You want your ducks?
I would love my ducks. Bring me the ducks. I'm getting off in 5 minutes. Okay. I'm going to bring out the ducks. And now shit is about to get real.
1, 2.
Thank you. Okay, let's try to adjust this a little bit. Can you see the ducks maybe? Hopefully. All right, the ducks are here. So you know things are about to get real. Okay? You know things are about to get real. For people that know, they know. All right, now I'm going to give an example of everybody as you pushed out. And I'm going to give an example of my manifestation equation, which is the blueprint. You already know that. I don't need to reiterate that. But for new people, I'm just trying to help you out because in case you're lost. What we have learned about manifestation is this. We are manifesting everything from the time we are conceived until the time we pass away from this earth. So in that process and in that situation, as long as you have a brain that's functioning, you have a subconscious mind. You have a reticular activating system. For the individuals that are a little geeky and neuroscience-y, that's what it's called. We have, throughout our childhood and throughout our youth, I'm going to put the duck down for a quick second and really do a broad spectrum of this. Now, at that situation, from our youth, we were impressionable in our subconscious mind, okay? That means the presence or absence of parents, the presence or absence of affection, our race, our religion, our background, our environment, how people showed up for us, how people didn't, our friendship groups, our school environment, our teachers, our neighbors, the milkman across the street, anybody that interacted with us and came into our bubble had an impression on us at a very young age. And depending on whether that impression was good or not good, it ended up shaping the way that we predict things into the future. So let's say as an example, I have a mother that is a pain in the butt.
Why are you looking
I'm
at me
giving
like that?
an example, please. The people need an example.
You're going to egg him on.
Okay, I have a father that's a pain in the butt.
My man.
And in that situation, me and my father don't have a good relation when I'm a young girl. So I develop a subconscious impression that men are unavailable in my life because my father was never available in my life. So why would other people be available in my life? I'm going to end up attracting a situation with men where they come in and they leave. They come in and they go away. Why? Because that was the impression from my youth. And if I am not aware of this type of information, which the majority of us are not from a very young age, and if I put negative stories on how men do or do not show up for me, I am going to radically shape the trajectory of the quality of interactions with men for the rest of my life in a bad direction or in a good direction. Because in any given point in time in our life, we always have an ability to internalize things in a good way or in a bad way. So let's say as an example, I get broken up with. I always have a way to internalize something as at least neutral. Give you an example. I get broken up with. I have an ability to say this relationship, it's just because of incompatibility. That doesn't make it a me problem.
That's a him problem.
Exactly. But the problem with the entire manifestation community is we are all, kind of lumped in the same boat. The over-caring, over-giving, over-kind, over-loving, over-nurturing individuals overcompensating individuals, fighting for self-worth and respect and being chosen and cherished types of individuals, and we make everything that has gone wrong in our life an us problem. And that is the fundamental problem for why we have to work so hard later on in our life to fix our mindset. Because we do not think that we are worth a $2 burrito from Taco Bell.
Damn.
Now, Dad, what would you like to say about your Louis Vuitton versus Walmart bag comparison? I'm tagging you in right now, honey. You better start speaking.
Get off your phone.
What was the question again?
Can you give the comparison of the people with the bags?
Louis Vuitton.
Because people really liked that.
Value yourself high.
Uh-huh.
Okay? God has put you on this earth for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There is a reason why you are here for.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Don't believe yourself in a low esteem. Put yourself as a high. Like if you go, like people should look at you like a very... like
Prize.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Don't value yourself as if you're some Kmart, Walmart shopping bag. You need to be valuing yourself as if you're some type of Louis Vuitton bag, some type of Cartier bracelet. You know, put respect on your name. Put respect on your name. And if they blame you for it, remember, there may be some part of your conception of self or conception of them that has caused that blame to come to you, Giselle. Because nobody can show up for us based outside of these two principles. So, to go back to what I was saying, everybody is you pushed out. Let's say I present in the world as someone who doesn't know my value, doesn't know my worth, needs to always overcompensate and prove my love to be seen as wifey material to different men that don't appreciate me and don't give me the time of day. I cannot, in that frame of mind, knowing that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not chosen, I'm not respected, there are other better or prettier options out there, then manifest in the love of my life.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to work. Okay? I cannot attract into my experience that of what I'm not in alignment with within my assumptions. If I know that I am the version of myself that is amazing and wonderful and incredible and a once-in-a-lifetime woman, I will attract a man that will be capable of validating that to me. But if I don't think I'm all that great, if I don't think there's like, you know, there's so many women out there, there's other prettier women and they're nicer or they're this or they're that, and then I want the love of my life, you see how these two things don't match? That's where so many people are stuck. They're like, why can't I feel horrible but then get love and then get somebody else to validate me so I don't have to do that work?
It's not going to happen.
You can't do that way. You're not tricking the universe in that capacity. I want to take a moment and really say thank you. I have so much admiration and respect for you. Oh my goodness. Don't make me cry like this. We're on a live. Stop it. Okay. So back to what I was trying to say.
Dad's getting antsy.
I know, Dad's getting antsy. I'm going to wrap this up in 30 seconds. If you're in a situation where you already know you're amazing, but your person isn't mirroring that back, remember, there's always two sides to every coin. So, like I mentioned before, if I have a really high self-concept, but I think the conception of men is this person doesn't have the capacity to choose me, I don't think that this person can show up for me the way that I want. I have negative stories that they're a player. I don't think they're going to pick me. I don't think they're going to be kind to me. I don't think they're going to stand by me and choose me and love me and support me. That's the version of them that I'm going to get. So many people are stuck onto the version of their person that is not even a good version. They experienced them stubborn once, and now they're just convinced that this law doesn't work for them. They're holding on to narratives of that person that don't actually serve them. But then they want the person to become different. The key to understand is whatever version of your person you got in the past, that's literally just a version of them. And if you can start to say to yourself, Just like how I experienced that version of them, I choose to believe that there is a different version of them that loves me, that there is a different version of them that sees my magic, that sees my worth. You will be capable of changing the conception of them, being a lot more strong that they can show up, and then they will show up to match you. The issue will always come from one side of the equation or the other. It can't come from anything outside of this. And this is literally like what I teach or what I taught in my How to Manifest Love Through Self-Concept, which that course has been revamped to be in the future self-concept only. And then the next part 2 version of that course, which is how to get them obsessed with you, is the working on the SP or new person side of it. So if anybody's interested to learn things at a deeper level and also come and hang out with the ducks and me and my parents, you guys know where to find me. This live has gotten way too long. Yeah, you can check out the website or anything like that.
Manifestwithpersis.com.
Yes, manifestwithpersis.com. And the course is still available now. We will be starting mid-December. 6-week deep dive for anybody that has a need for self-concept restoration and to get some amazing results within your self-concept, to learn to love yourself deeper and better than ever before. This is a wonderful course for you. Should you be in an interest in my problem is changing the conception of other people to make them obsessed with me, the How to Get Them Obsessed with You course is going to teach you all about changing the concept of others to match you. Okay?
Isn't your course, your money course starting?
My money course is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I thought so.
Yeah. I got so many people sign up right before this live, which is so weird, but nice. And if you guys want to learn about money, I have people that have manifested anywhere from tens of thousands to multi-millions. And this video and all of their success stories are on my YouTube page. So I love you guys very much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. I hope to see you guys in the course. And for those that got the money course, I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. For those of you that are getting the self-concept course, I will see you very soon as well. That will be starting in 3 weeks. So, yeah, I will see you soon.